State of the Country, he talked about American infrastructure. The long and short of it is that it's in particularly bad shape, and it appears to be getting worse. In 2009, American Society of Civil Engineers issued a report card for America's infrastructure with an overall grade of a D. There are approximately 18 subcategories for this infrastructure. Only 4 of them scored higher than D+. And the report essentially stated that as far as the state of American infrastructure goes, all signs point to an infrastructure that is poorly maintained, unable to meet current and future demands, and in some cases are actually unsafe. The next thing that Friedman discusses was essentially the import of talent in the form of immigration. He titled that section the brain drain. The states have had a long history of importing people, high-skilled workers, for the good of the country. As of now, fewer and fewer immigrants admitted are admitted based on their skills, and fewer immigrants who are educated here actually stay. And the point being is that America is no longer the only land of opportunity. And so many immigrants that are educated here now are choosing to return, when in fact you used to permanently import that talent, and it was very important for the development of our economy. Friedman takes time to point out that elected officials seem to get very confused about the discussion of immigration and are unable to make a distinction between the issues of illegal, unskilled immigration and the importance of legal immigration of skilled workers. And that has many times actually made this problem worse, because whenever the issue of immigration comes up, people want to discuss migrant workers and not people getting PhDs in aerospace engineering. But on a similar note, he discusses government spending on research and development, and he illustrates this story about a discussion. The Obama administration at one point had the plans for 8 innovation hubs for energy research. As it turns out, we only wanted to fund about 3 of them, and none of them ever actually wound up receiving the full budget of $25 million. And he makes the point that we're not only funding 3 of these at the moment, and even so, the funding they do get is only $25 billion, and you compare that to, say, the country of Singapore, has invested over $1 billion just to grow one particular subset of the biomedical industry, and points out that the percent of government spending on research and development has dropped approximately 6% in the past 40 years. Another rubric that he mentioned was rules, and points out, he discusses a sticky topic of regulation, saying that the United States has a tradition of engaging in appropriate regulation through quality government institutions. And he argues that recently we've tended to get away from the reasonable regulation part. In some cases, he cites an example where we have too much regulation, where the United States government's made laws making bankruptcy much more challenging, and therefore startups much less appealing. And on the other hand, he cites too little regulation and the failure of U.S. financial regulators to keep up with changing methodologies used on Wall Street, such as the credit default swaps and other things, and combinations of banks that some would say would lead to the 2008 recession. And as a final note, he points out, this is one that's been in the news a lot lately, it's real popular to talk about, is the top 1% takes in 25% of the total income. And so he states income inequality as a problematic rubric for American progress. And like I said, this is something that's talked about, but a better question is, why is this a problem? And Friedman essentially says, this is problematic because when you have such a gap, it's hard to generate collective efforts. If you have essentially, if you have different groups of people living in different worlds in the same country, it's hard to work on these things. It's hard to think of sort of the American tradition that we're all in the same boat, let's work together. And that's why he cites income inequality as one of the final rubrics for American progress that we should be concerned about. And that very much sums up the chapter.
presentations today, or are we going to take a 10-minute break? 10-minute break.
Notre Dame.